We tend to think of creativity as something that strikes like lightning, random, unpredictable, magical. But here's what I've discovered after studying how breakthrough innovations actually happen. The most creative people in the world are also the most routine-driven. I know, that sounds backwards. Stay with me. Steve Jobs wore the same black turtleneck every day. Maya Angelou rented a hotel room with no decorations, just a Bible, a thesaurus, and a bottle of sherry, and showed up there every morning at 7. Darwin took the same walk on the same path behind his house every single day for decades. That's where he did his best thinking. These aren't coincidences. There's something deeper happening here. See, your brain has this incredible feature. It's always trying to conserve energy. Every decision you make, from what to wear to which route to take to work, burns mental fuel. Psychologists call this decision fatigue. By the time most of us sit down to do our creative work, we've already made hundreds of micro decisions. We're running on fumes. But when you build the right routine, something magical happens. You free up that mental energy. You create what I call creative space, mental bandwidth that can now be dedicated to innovation instead of deciding whether to have coffee or tea. Here's where it gets really interesting. Innovation isn't about having one brilliant idea. It's about having the mental capacity to connect ideas that seem unrelated. When Charles Darwin was taking those daily walks, his mind wasn't occupied with the mundane. It was free to wonder, to make connections between geology and biology, between breeding pigeons and natural selection. Now, here's the mistake most people make when they hear this. They think any routine will do. That wake up at 5 a.m., do jumping jacks, read for an hour, meditate, journal, and wonder why they're exhausted by 9. That's not a creative routine. That's a punishment. The secret is in what I call intelligent automation. You want to automate the decisions that don't matter so you can be fully present for the ones that do. Let me give you a framework that actually works. I call it the 3 pillars of creative routine. First pillar, eliminate decision friction. This means having the same morning routine, eating similar meals, even taking the same route to work. I'm not talking about becoming a robot. I'm talking about creating predictable foundations so your mind can soar.
Second pillar, create sacred creative time. This isn't time you'll use if you feel inspired. This is non-negotiable time, same time every day, when your only job is to think, explore, connect ideas. Maya Angelou's hotel room wasn't about inspiration, it was about commitment. Third pillar, build in purposeful disruption. Here's where most people get routine wrong. They think routine means never changing anything. But Darwin didn't just walk the same path, he called it his thinking path. He deliberately used that consistent environment to let his mind explore inconsistent ideas. You need planned ways to expose yourself to new inputs. Maybe it's reading something completely outside your field every Tuesday. Maybe it's having lunch with someone from a different industry every Friday. The key is making disruption part of your routine, not fighting against it. I've seen this work with entrepreneurs who were stuck for months suddenly having breakthrough after breakthrough, with artists who went from struggling to create to having more ideas than they knew what to do with executives who transformed entire companies because they finally had the mental space to see the bigger picture. The greatest innovations in history didn't come from chaos. They came from minds that were free enough to wander because everything else was already taken care of. Your creative breakthrough isn't waiting for the perfect moment. It's waiting for you to create the perfect conditions. And that starts with how you structure your days. The routine doesn't kill creativity. The wrong routine kills creativity. The right routine sets it free.